guys, welcome to the next video. This is another part of crafting. So today, if you stick with me, we are going to be doing the vintage envelopes made out of old books. So this is something that I've seen and that I thought was really interesting. So do stick with me. We're about to do this together and I'll see you at the end of the video. So these are what the three pages look like. So I've basically just taken out some pages of an old book. I have cut them out. I then have marked where I want my envelope to be. So how big I want it to be, basically the length. And then when I have decided that, I've used a ruler just to fold it up equally. And then I've just put some glue either side. And I've done that with three of my old pages. Done now that they're all been glued to show pockets, so I have little pockets in them. I've put them on top of one another, but what I've done is made sure that there's enough space in between so I can put things in the pocket themselves. And so what we're going to do now is glue these. Done here, as you can see, the clear glue at the side. If I just bring it in for you there, I've done a U shape, so across the bottom on each side, and we're going to now place that on top of the other page. Put that on now, and I've just gone across with a ruler and smoothed it out, and now we're going to do the last one. There we have it. Now everything is glued on, and now this is our first part done. So before we move on, I just wanted to give you a bit of an idea of the pockets, just because I know you can't really see it all looks like it's one. So I've just put some sticky notes from Open Uni in, so you can see that's where they are. That's your pockets in there. Now, if you really want it to be perfect, you'd have all the writing going upwards. As you can see, mine's a little bit mismatched at the minute, but to me, I think that just gives it a little bit more authenticity. It is a very old book, so you can see kind of the sides of the book are kind of going a little bit brown. So it does give it a bit more of a vintage look. So yes, I just put these in here quickly just to show you that these are actually where we will differentiate in terms of the pockets and what you can put in. I've done is because we don't really have anything to hand, we're staying inside, things like that. I mean, some people would thread because it's quite kind of a thing they used to do. They used to thread their envelopes. So what I've done, just to kind of makeshift at home what you could do to replicate that, is I've used a black pen and I've used my ruler and I've lined all the way down, and it does take maybe a couple of minutes, but it's worth it in the end. And I've kind of done black kind of lines to kind of replicate the threading, and it kind of goes with the old kind of vintage books. So I'm going to turn that around and do the same, and then we'll be back. Now what I've done just to distinguish the pockets from each other, as you can see, I've got my last one I'm going to put on. These are just some envelopes that I haven't used. They look like up front. There they are. They're kind of nice brown. They go with the authenticity, I think, of what I'm doing in this project. So the last thing I'm going to do for this side is glue this one down here, and it really distinguishes the pockets. As you can see here, I'm starting to decorate it. I did actually think of something, because none of us have things that we can really go out and get at the minute, and I want this because I want a vintage look. I thought, what is the easiest brown to me? And things that I don't really use anymore is my W7 10 out of 10 palette, and this is a brush I never used. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and start to decorate the edges so in the brown, so it really looks authentic and vintage and like it's a really old paper. So I'm going to start that, and then I'll show you the finished product. The brown I'm going for, guys. I think it will come out really nicely on the paper. So guys, this is the finished product. I actually had another brush that was a little bit bigger that I don't use, and you can see how I kind of just put it bits and pieces, not everywhere, because if it naturally ages, you know, over time, a letter naturally ages. It doesn't go completely. It kind of starts off at the edges and then sometimes in the middle. So I want it to look really authentic. And then turning it around, you can see I've done the same there as well, just so it looks really authentic, guys. And that's something that you would have. It's something you would have in your home. And I think it just really gives it a really nice vintage feel. That's what it looks like, and I've just folded down the top and cut in between the envelope top there, just to give it a little bit of a authentic look as well. So you just pop that down, and that's the top. And then what I'm going to do to put in things in here, you could put your own things in, but I've just kind of cut out one of my pieces of paper here, the cream color, and I've started to blend different colors into it, so it still has that vintagey look and that worn look. So I will be doing more. So if I just see there, you can see how I've kind of blended different colors in. It's just I'm going in here with my brush, and let me just hold this here for you, and I'm just kind of going around the edges to make it look a little bit darker than the rest. And I might not have enough, and don't worry, I clean all this up afterwards. And if you find it's not doing, just dot on it like that. See, around the edges like that. And it just gives it that
aged look. And so on this side here, I'm just dotting. So it really distinguishes between the corners and the center. Like that. And let's just get this part up here. There. Well, I just place it there. Sorry, is it here? Okay. And just to show you the example, so if we take this away, you can see the difference that it makes to your page. What I've done as well, guys, is I've made a smaller one that's going to go in front of this one, but I've actually started to kind of use, so basically naturally if you found something like this and a letter was behind and one of these, this one would be lighter because this part here wouldn't have been aged as much because this would have protected it. So what I'm doing is I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of the glitter. I know that might sound odd, but I'm just going to dab it on the top, and let's just put this here just so it doesn't go anywhere on us. And we are just dabbing that different areas, and then when you blow off the glitter, it doesn't look too glittery, but it's meant to look a little bit more pristine, but also aged. So if we just then I'll just dab this off, and again I don't use this anymore. So these are definitely things, guys, you could do at home. Everybody has makeup, you know. So what I'm doing there, and the purpose of that is I'm going to go into the center. So if I just move you here, just blow that. Okay, so that's just blown there. And what I'm going to do with the white here, and why we're doing it in the center is that naturally the edges start to age, and when this goes in front it will blend in really well with this one, because you can see I'm naturally left that there on purpose. Now you can actually put your own letters in here, obviously very similar to the diary, but again it's very, very personal to you. So what I'm going to do is just tap that off, and it looks like that, and we are just going to place that right there. And again, you could write on it, you could put some nice acrylic writing if you had a calligraphy pen, and we'll just move on to the next one, but I'll just show you a bit of it. There we go, and you can see it literally looks like I've found a letter or something that's been, you know, there for years, but you've actually created this, guys. And again, you can do your own, it doesn't have to be vintage. We'll move on now to the next stage. Also do, guys, is you can do the same design with the eyeshadow, because everybody has it kind of, but you can put a name, very acrylic like, things like that, and that's just my name, but you could do it personal to you, anything like that. This would actually be a lovely gift as well, guys. But obviously if you are going to be putting things in it itself, the eyeshadow does, obviously once it's on, give it a kind of a few minutes. I know for myself, once it's on, it doesn't come off the paper gradually, which is what some of the things I was wondering, but no, this will all stay on. So if you wanted to put actual really important things in there, you know, it's absolutely fine. So this is just something I did for effect, so you could definitely see if you did that with the eyeshadow and put, you know, I actually used liner for this and it just came out really, really nice. And that's it there. And I did purposely not complete the letters because it does give it that authentic feel that it's been there. And what you could do is you could start to kind of blend all this out and make the letters itself look really, really kind of muddled and just about making them out. But that's kind of the next part we're going to go on to now. Okay, that's the kind of effect you can get. If I kept on doing it and blending the black, it would eventually kind of go out and out and out and further. And I think that's kind of what you're looking for. So far, you can see it's coming together nicely. What we're kind of doing to complete it, we're nearly there. So what we do is we look for the line where it was originally folded, and we move that up here. We gently go across. Again, you can do that with a ruler, make sure everything is there. Again, we look where the line was, bring it up again, make sure that's all aligned, that nothing gets kind of squished. Make sure our lid, our little top of our envelope is done. Then what we can do is, obviously as nothing is going to fall out because we've glued on everything, we then decorate the top of our envelope. The first thing I've done is I'm starting here in terms of the decorating. Now what they would have done years and years ago is they would have had a special liquid that would have fastened the envelope together. So what I've done is I've kind of made my mark, so that's not the completed envelope, but I've made a mark. What I'm going to do, obviously, as that had aged, if it was a real vintage envelope, again, it would have been blended out. And then what I'm going to do on top of that is put some glitter. What I've also done, guys, is sprayed a little water so you get those natural watermarks. So that will happen. The slightest bit of water I've put down. So when I do blend this, as there is a little bit of liquid in terms of water, it will blend out really well. Here it is from the front, guys. It's completed. Now these are all for effect, guys. You can put anything you want in these. So we've made our 3 envelopes out of our old books. So here I've put the two pages. One is more faded at the back and I used eyeshadow for that, and then at the front it's a little bit more protected. Then I just have my name there that I've written here, and then what I've done up here, guys, is I've actually taken another page and I've really brushed that off with darker brown so it looks like there's a letter in there as well. So now I'm going to show you the front. What I decided to do instead, guys, of the watermark is I followed the theme of the brown separation paper like we have on the inside, and I actually just made it look like an envelope as well, so that actually still pops up so it's not stuck down, and it's from a real envelope. It's the opening of a real envelope, and it just pops up so you can put things in there and then down again. And what we could use this for, guys, is your junk journal. You can stick it in anywhere. You stick it from the back because everything has been glued, nothing's going to fall out, and it's just a really nice addition, I think, to your junk journal, or if you just want to practice doing envelopes or just have envelopes, making them yourself.
So guys, I really hope you enjoyed. So this is the end product. It was really interesting to do, and there you can see how far it comes down. So I do have my little papers in there. I have my name here, you can see, and then as you can see here, I have done another book which shows I've just done a page from a book basically and used the same format like we did with the eyeshadows around the edges just to make it look a little bit more vintage. And again, as I said, sorry, what you could do is put it into your own junk journal or art watercolor journal, like I showed you if you use it. My camera ran out there. So as I was saying, these are the things you could do. You could add it to the journal we did. They're really easy to do, and it's quite interesting. If you wanted to gift it as well, I just got this from Amazon. It was one of my gifts that came, my Christmas gifts came in this as well. So you can gift it to people. I hope you enjoyed, guys. It's really fun to do with you guys. If you have any ideas for crafts too, do let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.